I'm gonna bring up our next speaker to that music. My brother, Roland Martin. So how we doing?
All right, we can kill the music. Let me give a shout out to specifically Morgan State as well as Bowie State. I've done both of their commencements, so Coppin State and University of Maryland Eastern Shore, y'all invited, brother, you get a shout out. I'm just saying. Also glad to see all of my Alpha brothers out here, as well as the other members of the Divine Nine. A few weeks ago, the Capital Region Minority Supplier Development Council had their annual awards gala. And we broadcast my show, Roland Martin Unfiltered, from there. In fact, we're live streaming this rally as we speak across YouTube, Facebook, and Periscope. And when I presented the award, I called out the governor and I called out the lieutenant governor, who was also there to get an award. And I said, step up when it came to the funding. Backstage, Lieutenant Governor got his award and saw me, and Lieutenant Governor said, I wasn't aware of the facts of this case. I started laughing because if anybody who's watched my TV One show, News One Now, who's heard me on Tom Joyner Morning Show, who's watched Roland Martin Unfiltered, I've been covering this case since I had a show. And I told Lieutenant Governor, I said, no, I'm familiar with the facts. He said, no, you haven't read the judge's ruling. I said, well, why don't you come on the show and talk about it? No, I don't want to come on the show. So I need to understand, how is it that I can be a graduate of Texas A&M University and be standing here at this rally fighting for HBCUs, and a black man as lieutenant governor of this state and as the graduate of an HBCU, but he's not out here standing up for HBCUs. Do understand, my motto in my career has been simple. If you do good, I'll talk about you. If you do bad, I'll talk about you. At the end of the day, I'll talk about you. And there's no way in the world somebody can be the lieutenant governor of this state and be an HBCU graduate and somehow thinks $200 million is acceptable. That is an abomination, and he should be called out. But let's also be clear that this is not a Democratic thing or a Republican thing. This is a right thing when it comes to properly funding schools, because HBCUs were creative enough to create the unique programs in the 70s that caused other students to want to come there. But then the predominantly white institutions saw those creative programs because black folks have always had to make a whole lot out of nothing. So what is happening right now is that here we are for no reason. We should not have to be here demanding something, but you can't show me jack in American history that black folks have not had to actually fight and agitate for. And so what is required is not just to be here to show all the power here, but also it's about coming back when the legislature comes back and meets. Because here you in this state have the largest black caucus out of any state, and yet this still has not been fixed, has not been taken care of, even though this state lost in the courts. So what it requires is not just gathering today on November 13th. It requires coming back and sending a notice to the Democrats in this state that you control the House and the Senate, and you don't have a party without black folks. And so if this government does not increase the funding, then I dare say to every Democrat in Maryland, either you stand with black folks or you against black folks. And every single member of this party, they must be on record saying they will vote for the proper funding of the 4 HBCUs, or every one of them should be targeted and taken out of office. The time has come for black folks to stop compromising with people, to stop accepting less, to stop accepting nonsense, and look folks in the eye and say, we will be here every single day until it happens. And let me be real clear to the governor as well as the lieutenant governor. The platform that I own, I own. I didn't have to ask nobody to come here because I own the damn camera. I didn't have to ask somebody, could we broadcast this live, because I own the live streaming unit. Which means that when the legislature comes back and meet and this agreement isn't signed, we will be here putting pressure on his behind every single day, calling him out, putting his phone number out every single day, because no longer will we accept anything less. We are 24 years away from America becoming a nation majority people of color. Here we are 400 years celebrating the year of return this year in this country. And here we are still having the same conversations that we have been having for so long. America never intended to educate us. They made it against the law for black folks to read. If you read the book, The Education of Blacks in the South, by James D. Anderson, the sister said she was responsible for more slaves being killed because she would taught them how to read. Now, you know it's something powerful if they say the penalty is death if you were caught how to read. And you've got now African-American students who are being shut out of other institutions, who have a way to be able to go to school. And when I did the Morgan State graduation, I saw kids from other countries, Middle Eastern countries walking across that stage. And then all of a sudden, you're seeing the increase of Hispanic students coming through HBCUs. You got an HBCU in Kentucky that's majority white because they understand what education means. And so what we cannot allow a state that takes our taxpayer dollars and spends it other places and not do right by our people. And so when you leave here, what you must do is say, each person here has to decide, I'm going to reach 10 other people. So the next time we gather here, this group will be 5 times as large. And then you tell the same people we're going to call every single day. And if we got to call the governor's office, lieutenant governor's office, and call Democratic leader's office, that will happen as well. But no longer will we stand by and allow black folks to be disrespected, our institutions to be underfunded. The time is now for us to pick up the mantle of Dr. King, as well as Fannie Lou Hamer, as well as Ella Baker and Constance Baker Motley and Diane Nash and James Bevel and Ralph Abernathy and all the leaders who stood up. This generation must send the notice to Maryland and America. You will no longer take black folks for granted, because if you do, you're going to have hell to pay. And what they better understand is we've been used to fighting. We've been used to swinging on folks. And so if they question what's next, you tell them what one of the founders of Alpha Phi Alpha, Vertner Woodson Tandy, said: we will fight until hell freezes over, and then we will fight on the ice.